Welcome back to the Chow Time Pod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today from Lost Boy. He suggested another video, and it's a new creator. It's CP Becker. He's brand new. It looks like he only has 320 subs. And let's help the man out. He did a video about MGTOW weddings and featuring Tom Leykis. I'll explain Tom Leykis later. Please like and subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get to that chow. It's chow time.
Never forget that no matter how nice she looks, no matter how friendly her eyes look, you look into her eyes, they sparkle, and you see her and it makes your day. I know that feeling. When it gets right down to it, it's like hailing a cab. At the end, they throw the flag up and they tell you how much you owe them. And they'd like a tip with that, please. Boys, never forget that. And in this lecture...
Rest in peace, Tom Leykis. You know, like, this man really helped a lot of men out in LA because he was an LA personality. I listened to him when I was younger, like slightly, and then one of my good friends when I was younger listened to him a lot. I listened to him all the time when he was in the car. And I actually did not like some of the things he said or the way he said it, but I was also a little bitch back then. And nowadays, to women, it's at least 6 figures. So, yeah.
If a woman makes $22,000 a year and she meets a man who makes $32,000 a year, she thinks she's hit the jackpot. So you don't have to have a lot of money.
Remember, this was in like the late 2000s, early 2000s. So this is way before hypergamy just went fucking off the rails with OnlyFans and stuff. So him saying these numbers and stuff, it was much more reasonable back then. Now it doesn't matter. They could be straight bums and they're still asking for 6 figures.
Money to be in this position. But what it gets right down to is that women think their company is worth more than ours.
Yes.
They think their sexual availability has monetary value that ours doesn't.
Yep.
Or at least they try to con us into believing that's the case. And they believe that once they have the keys to our place, once they are officially the girlfriend or the wife or whatever, the live-in, that it is your job to shovel money in their direction. And in many cases, their love is directly correlated to how well you are able to support the enterprise. Whether it be a relationship, whether it be a live-in relationship, whether it be a marriage, whether it be a marriage with kids, whether it be a live-in relationship with kids. It's amazing how much a woman's love has to do with how well you support the family. It's amazing how many women stop loving you if you are unable to work or depressed or, in some cases, unwilling to work for a period.
How many stories do we hear when a man is laid off and he loses his family because he got laid off and he couldn't find another job right away? Or even like the thought of him getting laid off, the women are already starting to leave. This is nature, women nature. Like, it is what it is. Nothing we can really do about it other than keep making money and keep producing. Like, to be a man and expect women to still love you without the provisioning side of things is pretty stupid. It really is. Like, there's no women out there, very few at least, that would be willing to go through these trials and tribulations with you if you're not providing anything, if you're not providing the protection and the means that they want. And it's fair. To tell you the truth, it's somewhat fair in a sense, because this is what perpetuated civilization for a long time. Not that women jumped left and right back in those days, but women always look for the best and look for someone that can handle everything, right? And when men slip, which we all do, I'm not saying we don't. Fuck, I slip, you know? But I don't think men should resent women for leaving when you are down and out like that. I really don't. Like, as men, there is a certain standard that we should adhere to ourselves, and a certain standard of protection and provision, especially if we are the breadwinners. If we are the breadwinners, yes, should always be the breadwinner. Yes, I'm not saying that, we don't fail and fumble and, things go wrong sometimes. It is what it is. But it's very hard to expect women to understand this. They just can't. They really don't. And as men, we have to understand the other side of it, of that's what happens when you don't have money. That's what happens when you fail. This is what happens when you're not able to provide for a woman. Like my father, I bring this up, my father says money is very important. It is literally the most important thing almost in life, because it gives you the things you need. And my father always says, when you have money, everyone's your friend. Everyone loves you. Everyone likes you. But when you don't have money, no one cares for you. Everybody thinks you're an annoyance, and everybody shuns away from you. That's reality. It doesn't change from women.
Period of time. Amazing how many of these women who, quote unquote, love you suddenly stop loving you. Now, boys, I've been married and divorced 4 times, and I've had other relationships as well. So I'm going to tell you that when you fall in love, you can't see this. Let me tell you what the other end is like when you get out. When you get out, women want money to leave. They not only want money to move in, they not only want money to have sex with you, they not only want money to spend time with you. They not only want money so they can look at you with puppy dog eyes and pretend to be interested in what you have to say. When you want them to go, they want money for that too.
Yep.
So when you tell a woman to leave, she wants money. She wants you to help her move. She wants you to pay for her furniture. She wants you to pay for her security deposit, first and last month's rent. She'd like a lump sum, too. And if she can't get you to voluntarily give it, and she got you to marry her,
she'll use the courts.
Ultimately, get an attorney and find a way to get the money out of you. And even if she doesn't hire an attorney to get the money out of you, suddenly you'll find out how much she doesn't love you once she tells you how much money you owe her. Because what it comes down to is how much money you can provide to the enterprise. I mean, imagine.
Like I said, these are just harsh truths. It is what it is. You can't change this. You really can't. The only thing you can do is navigate this the best you can and find a woman that doesn't really fit these particular archetypes as much. But this is rare. This is even rare in other countries. There's very few women that are loyal to you without money, and are loyal to you without provisioning and protection. It just doesn't usually happen. Even the Chads and Tyrones, if they don't spend money on these women, yes, they get sex and they get all these things, but these women hardly ever want to fully settle down with these men because they're not going to get any money. Yeah, they'll get their asses ran through. This is why there's the beta provider, and then there's the the alpha that fucks, or whatever they want to say it, but it's true.
Sure, are there women out there, are there needles in a haystack out there who, when a relationship is over, they say, I don't want anything, I'm just getting out of here? Yes, there are exceptions to the rule like that. But generally...
And this is why we, as men, we never really talk about the exceptions too much. because you might not ever be that exception. You might not even ever meet these exceptions because there's so many that aren't these exceptions, right? And women love to use the exceptions because remember, men are probability, women are possibility. As long as there's a 0.0000001% chance of getting what they want, that's what they're going to ask for, and that's what they're going to dream of. For men, dude, at 50% chance of divorce, taking half our shit, we're not even willing to take that risk. Women, 0.0000001%, I'm all in. I got to.
I'd like out. And all of a sudden it turned from love to here's how much money I want. But it can be quite an empty feeling when you find out how somebody just wanted money. Oh, yes, they loved you while they were there. And oh, yes, they acted like they loved you. Oh, yes, they took lots of photographs of the two of you together and everything. And it looked like you had all this fun. But the reality is, underlying it all, they want money. When you meet a woman, you must remember that no matter how friendly she seems, no matter how funny she is, no matter how good she makes you feel, physically, emotionally.
Dude, this like really hits home for me too. Like just listening to Tom Leykis, I haven't heard him in a long time. You know, he passed away quite a few years ago. And then like, yeah, I lived through this. Dude, I'm dating right now, and I lived through this, just seeing women do these things. There's actually one girl that I dated that actually did not care about money, and she'd pay for a lot of things. She was willing to pay for a lot of things that I didn't even ask because she really wanted to be equals with me in a sense of not like equals, but she wanted to contribute as much as I contributed. And to tell the truth, she had a few things that were off, but now that I really think about it, like she actually is a really good woman. She is the rare ones in the needle in the haystack, and you know what? I might rekindle that relationship because now that I've dated other women, it's money. It's really about money. Just money, 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 money. And I think I fucked up by not putting this woman a little bit more ahead of other women. And it's listening to this made me realize how rare she is. Even the things that I kind of saw as red flags aren't actually that big of red flags because our morals and everything else matched up really well, you know. And tell you the truth, that's all I cared about. That's all I do care about. So fuck, I'm gonna have to rethink about this and see where I can go forward with this.
mentally, whatever. Somewhere in there, she thinks that she's being hired for an occupation. This is an employment position.
It's funny that he says this, but we always say it's like a job, like, you listen to your boss, you should listen to your husband. These things like red pillars, like kind of spout. And, it's funny that Leykis is like, you know what, that's what they think. And yeah, it is. That's how they feel.
And in exchange for providing you with her time and her good cheer, she wants money.
Mm-hmm.
You owe her money for that. That is the attitude of many women. And that's why sometimes when I look back on relationships of the past, and I try to think about the good times I had with particular people, it's difficult. Because after the relationship was over, you find out just how much of it was about money.
Yes. Again, this is when I stopped talking with the girl that I'm speaking of. I realized, oh yeah, it wasn't about money at all. She still took care of things, and she still wanted to pay for things. And like, damn, I feel like I fucked up a little bit, but I think I can fix it.
How much they want, how much you should give them, how much they're entitled to, how much their time is worth. Women have talked about, I gave you the best years of my life. Yeah. Like they got nothing out of it during the time you were together.
Right.
Like essentially you were...
Oh man, it's like it's hit fucking right at the nail on the head right there. It's like they act like they never got anything out of it throughout that whole time, right? We provided for them, we took care of them, we sent them out on trips, we did all these things. And it's just like, what? Did I didn't just like keep you in a dungeon and have sex with you or something.
renting their time, and that had value, and therefore they want your money. Every once in a while, I think back on women I've been with, women I've dated, women I've lived with, women I have married. I think back, and I try to think back on all the good times we had. Sometimes I look through old photographs and see some of the things we were doing and saying, God, that looks like that was fun. Oh, I remember this. I remember that. Then every once in a while, you're jolted into reality because, like, you look at the person's face in the photograph and you're saying, well, wait a minute, when it was all over, she boiled it down to dollars and cents. She pretty much had an amount in mind. And
it's funny because for my divorce, I don't have pictures. I wasn't much of, like, I was very adamant against pictures because I grew up with my father being a typical Asian, just cameras everywhere, constantly taking pictures, and I felt like it ruined moments. I regret that now, but like I'm a more of a picture person now. But I didn't have pictures with my ex-wife, like barely any, and so I don't really have to look. I don't have anything to really look back at, and I'm actually okay with that.
She started telling you what the amount was. So all that time you thought you were having fun, it was like hiring, not quite a hooker, because it's more than just sex, but it's like hiring an escort for a long period of time. And in the long run, women feel they should be compensated for the time they spend with you. As you go out with women, date them, have sex with them, never lose sight of that, boys. Never forget that no matter how nice she looks, no matter how friendly her eyes look, you look in her eyes, they sparkle, and you see her and it makes your day. I know that feeling. When it gets right down to it, it's like hailing a cab. At the end, they throw the flag up and they tell you how much you owe them. And they'd like a tip with that, please. Boys, never forget that.
How many of you guys can't swallow that chow right there? I know that's a harsh chow for a lot of men. Like, everybody thinks that they might find that one that wants to, like, be with them and love them and take care of them. Of course, everybody wants that. But that's not the case. They love you and want you because you have money, or you're willing to do things with money, right? Remember, they want money for seeing you, dating you, marrying you, moving in with you, having kids for you, and when they leave, right? Again, this really made me think about my last relationship with this one woman that really didn't care about money, and she actually was she paid for a lot of things, and not because she was like, oh, I want to be 50-50. No, she was like, I want to contribute as much as you. I don't want you to have to pay for everything. You know, like, I love you, and things like that. And I was just like, I don't know why I just kind of ignored some of these things. But there was other red flags that I was like very kind of nitpicking at her about. So I will have to reevaluate my nitpicking. So please like and subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys next time. It's chow time.